And we are going.
Yeah.
So,
So, in addition to content creation, I would say I'd want you to think of Twitch as a business because it really is. I mean, it's a source of income, and it would be good to treat it like such. And Streamlabs is basically your first office, I guess. It's the thing that allows you access to that business. There are a number of different types. I like Streamlabs. Stream Elements is popular for some other people. Some people stick with the open source OBS. Um, but Streamlabs tends to be the preferred at the moment. And the other big part is if you do Streamlab Prime, you can basically make it your one-stop shop for your business, including literal shop. If you'd like that, instead of using Redbubble or something to make your branded shirts or mugs or whatever, it can come straight out of your Twitch stream and be purchased and promoted on during your stream. So Streamlabs is a pretty powerful user interface for the old OBS. So, and you can buy a lot of other extensions. We do a lot of talk that involve. So I'm a therapist, psychologist, and obviously we're all professionals. So I use, where is it? Streamlabs chatbot. No, not chatbot. Streamlabs. Where is it? It's a horribly, horribly disorganized desktop. Maybe I got rid of it.
you got too many windows open, Dr. Kelly.
That's right. Well, it might be chatbot actually. It might be a feature of chatbot, but where you can basically download all of the comments that are made by anybody. We've had some people who, as a streamer, you are going to have people who say things that are terrible, and then your response to that, or they are threatening their own lives or something, and your response to that is going to be important. And so if you want to say, look, I responded in a fine way, I addressed it, the mod addressed it. So having proof of that is important if you are going to be a professional as well. So if we go ahead and go into Streamlabs, I'll make sure it opens up on the right window here.
You make sure to open up your screen share again.
Oh, that's right. Here we go. Let me get it onto the primary window. It takes a bit.
And while you're doing that, I will mention, just kind of as a heads up, Dr. Kelly, there are quite a few people in this class that will probably do something that doesn't involve gaming at all, whether it be lifestyle or we've got a couple of people that are doing cooking.
Oh, great.
We've got a couple of different ones in terms of sports talk, music production. So, so this is just getting into the general
absolutely
theme of it will be really, very important. So
absolutely.
Thought I'd throw that in there.
So when you first rise, you have three primary areas you're looking at. You have over here, which are your scenes. This is basically the templates you'll be using. So for instance, for our clinical role, which is the D&D campaign, here's that one. These are also sometimes called overlays. Whereas if we were to do, like when we did our, I guess I might have modified that one since then. If we did like Final Fantasy panel we had recently, which it's this, the reason you're having this window effect is because one of the windows that pops up is Streamlabs, so it's doing that mirror effect. For the Black Lives Matter panel, you get all these things set up. I'm going to take you through to kind of show you a bit how to do it. Console host, let's see, we do our happy hour. This is a pretty standard Twitch setup here. So you've got, if I were to go, let's see. So I'll move from scenes, and within scenes you have your sources. So there's a lot going on right now. And the sources are what do it. This jar is literal tips that you get from Twitch people. And it's a little interactive feature, a little visual feature that as you get it, it fills the jar. This right here is takes track of subscribers. We know that setting goals is incredibly important for engagement. Engagement is basically the key of Twitch, and Streamlabs provides you with a number of ways to engage the audience. If I were to pull this up, you can download widgets, but it has a number of widgets that you can use that you see on mini streams. You have things like a tip ticker, follower goal, alert box in general will pull up some sort of image that can be customized to your channel, some sort of GIF for anything that happens, follower, subscriber, donator, subscriber, etc. A lot of people, when they're trying to encourage engagement, they'll have an event list or like sort of like a top donator, top viewer, top tipper, so that people feel involved in the channel. So all of these are available to your use. Over here is everything audiovisual. Everything audiovisual. And I'm going to take you through a few, but this image would simply, be any sort of JPEG, PNG, bitmap that you have on there. Display capture is basically screen capture. It just takes a portion of your screen and will show it. Game capture, Streamlabs will identify a console or a game you're playing on the computer automatically and proprietize it that way. Audio input's your mic. Other important, window capture is your best friend. Window capture captures any window of an application. So if you're pulling up a bunch of buddies of yours into your stream, window capture is what you're going to use. For instance, well, here, I'll do one right now. So I don't know if I got one for Zoom already set up for this Zoom format. All right.
Yeah, do you think you can kind of do one from scratch?
Yep. Oh, you want me to do one from scratch entirely?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have
Sure.
to have any like super overlay to it. Just to kind of get a, it's like,
Yeah.
Assume that we know nothing here.
It is a lot. So okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's create a scene. And we're gonna call it Steven spelled appropriately. All right, do done there. All right, so a couple things you have to have. First thing, you're gonna want a mic. I use a Yeti here. So I'm going to do audio input capture, add source. I'll just create a new one. So yeah, and you save these and I'll show you why that's important. So I'm gonna say Yeti 2. As you just go to your device, my Yeti is of course plugged into this thing, so I click Yeti. That's your simple input. If I go down here in my mixer, right here, you'll be able to see all the channels that I have going on. So right now as I'm talking, I'm a loud person. I am peaking out, right? If I talk really loud, I'm in the red. Most of my voice seems to be between the yellow and the red. So maybe I want to do something about this. Once you get it in, you can add filters. Pretty much most things you do are going to have filters. Within filters, there are 3 primary ones you'd want for a mic. One would be a noise gate. The noise gate will allow it so that little sounds in the background will be diminished, including your typing. Close threshold is the most important one. 32 is pretty average. I've noticed that minus 39 tends to be good for clicking of keys. That way it won't pick it up. And it'll make it sound that nice high production sound where you're like, man, that person has a really good mic. A lot of people actually have really good mics, but they're not using any filters. And so you're hearing just this big reverb mic that sounds like a $50 mic. The time you really use those mics, if you're not acoustifying your room, is by using filters that your good mic will allow. So noise gate, I'm a very loud person. So I tend to have both a limiter, which makes it so that if I get real excited and scream, it will, straight up cut it off. So if I were to put it right here, obviously, bleh, okay, it stops right in the yellow. Probably a sweet spot's usually like minus 12. Yeah, so I'm not getting in red. And then if you are a person whose voice goes everywhere, the other thing you would want is a noise compressor. And compressors are a little more complicated, but those are nice because it makes it so that it keeps everything, it acts kind of like a noise gate and a limiter a bit. It makes it so that everything is brought down a bit if your volume and intonation and everything goes everywhere. So we've got our audio input. Now we need an output, because right now, if someone watches our stream, all they're going to see is a black window, and they're going to hear my voice, which hopefully now sounds really, really good through the mic. But they won't be able to hear anything that might be coming in. So let's say, here, we'll do this. We'll say we're playing, we'll do a game. Okay, so I'll start up a game real fast. Well, let me just do something simple. Sure. Final Fantasy 6. All right. Connect to my Steam account. Okay. So let's say, are you able to hear sound, by the way, right now? Okay, that's
Just your
good.
voice.
I don't want you to hear the sound yet. I actually got to lower it because it's wildly distracting me. Where's my mixer? Oh man, those old Final Fantasy organ sounds
MIDI
are
files.
Terrible. Yeah.
Gotta love those MIDI files.
Yeah, dude. MIDI organ. All right, I'm just gonna turn that off or lower it remarkably. Okay. So because I'm going to be doing a video game in this example, and I will do another one, I'm going to go to game capture. And I'll just do a new one here, though I actually do have it chosen, but I'm going to do a new one. So we'll do Final Fantasy VI, add source. It automatically found my game, okay, in the game capture. And right now, I could change it. I could say capture a full screen application, a specific window, foreground window with hotkey, which that I'll get into in a bit. But for this one, we'll do it this way. And I think I don't want it to be entirely over the screen. So I'm going to minimize it a little bit. I'm going to put it in the middle because I'm not going to want some of the Zoom people to block it. Now, right now, this is all good and well. If someone sees my stream, they see this terrible 92? I don't know what year, visuals, but they hear nothing because I only have the game capture and my input. So they hear me and they see this. So I need to give them something that will allow them to hear what I hear. Now, the most basic way of doing this, I'm wearing headphones. So just to make it, easy, the most basic way of doing this is think to yourself, I want them to hear what I hear. Where am I hearing it from? If I'm hearing it from my HyperX 2 clouds, then that's going to have to be my device because then they will hear what I'm hearing through my headphones. So I'm going to use my HyperX, do here, check my mixer. There we go. I can tell that they are going to be hearing this at this volume. I've got it fairly low volume, okay? And Stephen, probably at one point I'll pull this up on Twitch. Do you want me to just pull it up on Twitch now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll skip ahead because, well, no, there's one or two things I won't be able to do. Okay, let me show you something. So there are a lot of things you can do while you are streaming. Most of these sources you can do while streaming. Things you cannot do while streaming are your settings. And this is getting a little bit into a deep cut, so I'm not gonna get too deep cut, but I wanna show you some very basics. When you go into your settings, the little cog icon down here, you'll see a lot of things. The ones that are most important, stream, that you are connected to wherever you are streaming from, Mixer, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and that key is plugged in. Oh yeah, and you can dual stream when you have Prime, which is pretty great. If you click on custom, you'll see a stream key right here. I'm not going to go into all the what you do with that, but do know that that's something you can look into. Let me get out of it. But for now we're actually just going to use recommended settings. Output. You need to figure out what is going to work for you. If you are playing a video game and having Zoom up or having your own personal camera to do cooking and have a lot of bandwidth being taken, you're going to need to know, is my computer capable? Do I have a better graphic card? In which case, maybe I want to use hardware InVec, or do I have a really powerful CPU and I want to use the software so that it codes appropriately? When you are looking into where is it recording, this is where you choose the space, and it also chooses what bit rate and size it's going in on. How high quality do you want it to be? Audio is kind of similar, and then when you go to video, this is where you choose your scale. Now, Twitch does not allow you to go over 1080p unless you are a partner. In fact, and I think, if I'm remembering correctly, unless you're affiliate, it's only 720. So if you're not an affiliate, the resolution of 720 is fine. It won't hurt you to have 1080, but you don't necessarily need it. If you've got a good computer and you're an affiliate, then 1080 at 60 is where you want to be. That's 60 frames is max that Twitch will capture. Let's see, there's anything else. Oh, and then scene collections. Make a habit of importing or exporting your overlay files, because Streamlabs is good, but it will fail you. It will. And you will have times where you'll lose everything. I swear to you, it's happened to me twice. And it's just a thing on subreddit. They're just like, yep, that just happens. That's Streamlabs. So make a habit of backing it up, including all of your scenes. You can do it into a cloud, which is what I do, or just occasionally do it onto your computer. If there's anything else I'd want to... Those are the main things I wanted to show you in there. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here, but those are the ones that I'm not going to go too much into it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and stream this. Steven, can you put up the link?
You want me to put it for GLU?
Yep.
Okay. Can do.
So what you guys should see when you go to I didn't play with my mic filters, so hopefully they were fine. But what you should be seeing is you should be seeing the game, hearing the game, and hearing my voice. You should also
be on the chat now, everybody.
Okay. You should also be hearing Dr. Daniel. I've got my stream up as well, so I can sort of see I'm with you here. Now, as I haven't gone live yet here. So I'm gonna go live. It's gonna stream to Twitch. It gives you a few options. Twitch class, you could choose, for this it'd be the game. I will just go ahead and put it in, why not? Most games are going to be available on here. I know they got Final Fantasy, there it is. And for this one, I'll do some tags. There are more tags than these. You can, if you're not in Streamlabs, you can add other tags. For instance, first-person shooter is not a tag on Streamlabs. So FPS is not a tag, where you can add those later. On this one, what would be relevant is maybe role play. I don't think even RPG is one, yeah. And then maybe collaborative or cooperative. We're not competing. If you were doing cooking or like education, so we could say educational. If you're doing cooking, there's probably a cooking one. Yep, cooking, art, so again, it's not just for games. It's got a lot in there, but Streamlabs is limited. You can add more on the Twitch website. And a lot of times Dr. Daniel will do that for me as I'm about to launch something. Yeah, we'll use Optimize, that's fine. So I'm gonna confirm and go live. Now, there is a delay that will exist with all Twitch streams. I've got a really good upload speed. I've got a very nice setup. I want to mute myself. Oh, it's commercial. Okay. That's
Get ready for Tony Hawk. All right.
Tony Hawk looks pretty dope, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked about it.
Okay, there we go.
All right. All right. So for me, I'm getting. Let me see here. Hold on. Bop. 2-second delay. So I've got a 2-second delay on my end. I have it set on my settings where I don't want any delay. I want it to be as fast as possible because we do a lot of community engagement. You can add it where you can intentionally create a delay in case you're worried about something bad happening, right? Or you have some other reason that you might, want to do that. On average, you're looking at about a 7-second delay, right? So it's something to keep in mind. If you get backseat gaming, backseat gamers, it can be really frustrating for them because they might not all know this. And they will try to tell you what to do, but they're telling you 7 seconds ago what to do. And you already took a right, and they're trying to tell you to take a left. And, so it makes it very, very difficult. Yeah, it does. Thank you for the follow. So it's something to keep in mind. Now, can you guys hear the game me and Dr. Daniel. Go ahead and talk, Dr. Daniel.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for all the follow. Wow, yeah, thank you for all the follows, y'all.
Perfect.
Can y'all hear that? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So, all right. So we've got some pretty basics right now. Now, let's say I actually want to invite some people in. Tyler Lewis, you've got a green screen. Are you good with me putting you in here, or no? You prefer not?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You good? I figured you might be. So let me see here. I am going to actually pin Tyler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Tyler in. And if you're doing this, you're either going to be using Zoom or Discord. You're going to do it the same way. You are going to add a window capture. We're just going to add a new one. Tyler. All right. And I'm going to go down to, you got to find the right Zoom. Oh, wait. So there is something that occurs that I realize. When you are sharing your screen on Zoom, you cannot use the window capture to get people. I'm going to have to use a display capture. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Typically what would happen is if I was not sharing, I would click Zoom. You would see my entire Zoom window pop up, and then I would crop it so that I just had Tyler. And if I wanted somebody else, I would do the exact same thing again. I would open up the entire Zoom, but then I would crop it for someone else. Because I'm sharing a screen and because we're not going to pull up Discord to solve that problem, which is normally what we'll do, I'm going to actually remove the window capture. And I am going to add a display capture, which again is basically just a screen capture. So I'll just write Tyler again. Holy God. Okay. Wrong window. So I want it to be my secondary window. Okay. So what I got Tyler pinned up there. Now, here's what you're going to notice in this trick. Please hear me on this trick because this will save you so much time. If you grab from the sides, it's all resize. That's all it does, right? Oh, I realize, yeah, you can see that. So it's all resize. But if you want to crop it, as I do now, you hold down Alt and you grab one of the middle icons, not the corners, that won't work. You grab a middle icon, hold Alt, and then bring it over and that'll crop it. Otherwise, you're going to have to keep entering a guess of the numbers of pixels you want to cut off, and that is exhausting. So instead, I am going to do this and crop it so it's just Tyler. Now, because I am sharing my screen, Zoom lowers the quality of the video for the host. Hello, Tyler. So it lowers the quality. It's still not terrible, but you know, if you are to share a screen, I would recommend share in Discord. You get a better frame rate anyway, and use Zoom for the people. But so I've got Tyler here. Now, maybe I want to add, maybe I want to add an overlay with Tyler. I want to get something to kind of spruce up that window a bit. I'm going to use, you can download these offline. Streamlabs provides a lot, but I'm just actually going to just grab from another one of my scenes. Let's see. I'm going to grab from another one of my scenes. I'm simply going to Control C, go back to my Stefan one, and Control V, and bring it up. Now, the way that the sources work is it works top down. That's the arrange order. The game is at the bottom. That's why Tyler and the frame are over it. If I brought the game up to the top, if it's going to be cool with me, apparently it doesn't want to be, yeah, then it's going to be over Tyler. So obviously I need to bring the game back down. With any overlays, like a frame or something, you want that to be on the top. It just saves you a lot of time in editing. So here I go, I got this, and I've got Tyler, but I kind of want to get it a little neater. So I'm going to once again use my Alt, bring it in. Now let's say Tyler Lewis has got on the Zoom there, but I don't like that. I want to add my own name under him, right? I want to add a separate name, and I want to use a Final Fantasy font. So I'm then going to go to Text GDI Plus, and we'll add a new one here. Tyler. Add source. Now, I actually have a number of fonts that I have got on here. You can add any of them. Dafont.com is a great one. They're all free. They have amazing ones. You search a term, DAFONT.com. And they have amazing fonts. You download the TTF file, and it goes straight into your computer's overall font database, and it will be picked up by this. So I've got a Final Fantasy font, and we're just going to write Tyler Lewis. Okay. You can play around with the color and everything, but I'm not really going to do that for now. I feel like you guys can figure that out. And just drag that down, and I'm just going to put that right there because why not? All right. So I've got Tyler's picture, I've got his name, and I got his frame. This is getting kind of cluttered down here in sources. I don't really like that. Not really liking how cluttered this is getting. So I'm actually going to create a file. And the file is going to be, or the folder is going to be Tyler. And I am just going to lump in order let's see, I got to go in here so I can kind of clean it up a bit. I do want to get the font above it all. Oh, that not work. There we go. That way, I know all that's for Tyler, and I'm cleaning up my space a little bit, right? I could even, Lord, I could even create another one that's, just audio, mic. I tend to like to have cleaner ones. And so we'll get my audio mic down here, grab these guys, and plop those in there. All right, so we're kind of tightening it up a little bit. Now, if I want to get rid of Tyler for a second, let's say he's a surprise guest. I don't want people to know that he's there yet. All right, so then I'm going to make him invisible. People won't see him in the stream. It should be off in the stream. Do this. And then I want to, surprise, your buddy came. All right, so you can manage this stuff live in the stream. Now, these, basically what we have here are the very basics. Is there anything anybody in particular wants me to do? Maybe you're thinking about your own stream and, you want to know something custom to that. What do we got? And Dr. Daniel, if you have questions, I can do it too. But those are the most basic aspects. And while people think about that, I will say in Streamlabs, you do have your window over here. So you can respond. And if I were to respond from here, it is going to respond from your account. Mods will not have access to this. If you have mods, you can, of course, in your settings on Twitch, make them a mod, and they'll do it from their own account.
And it'll come up, as you can see here, with the little sword that indicates that it is mod. One thing, Dr. Kelly, that I think a lot of people are going to want to know, because there are quite a few streams that are going to have multiple people in it at once.
Okay.
What can we expect in terms of like dividing Zoom windows?
So it's going to be hard. Well, let's see.
You might not be able to do it here, but maybe we can.
All right. So I just clicked. Here's the thing. When you set up a Zoom window, it sets it up based upon how it looks on your computer. You can't minimize the window. Now you can move the window, right? But I had Tyler pinned. Now I made it so I could see multiple people so that I can bring more people in. So wherever Tyler was originally, now Dr. Daniel is there, right?
Taking Tyler's spot right now.
Right. Right now my Zoom is set up so whoever's talking is the one who is going to move to the priority spot. You have to turn that off or your windows are going to move everywhere as it goes on. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pin. I'll just keep Tyler pinned. All right. So I've got Dr. Daniel here. Now let me minimize this. I feel like I'm going to be a little lazy, and I'm just going to copy and paste the whole file with the frame and everything, right? And let's just go ahead and put someone else over here. But I'm going to change a little bit. Number one, well, actually, I'll change you. This will be Tyler. So I want to change this window. So I'm going to go to, this is the same type of source, but obviously I need to reframe it. So I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to drag it back out. Dragging this thing out.
This is way too much of my face currently.
And let's get Tyler again. So it's just, again, it's another window capture, but I am picking a different part of it. That's all you're doing, is you're creating another window capture. Same source, it's the exact same window capture, you're just cropping it differently. And I'm going to plug that right on in. In fact, I'm even going to add, I believe I can do this for you. If I add a filter, let's do a little chroma key. And let's see if we can give you a background. So we can even chroma key other people. If they have green screens, you can chroma key it to one consistent message. Actually, that's not a terrible chroma key, so we'll do that. And that way, if I do that, and I bring him down here, I can plop him right in the game if I wanted to, right? See, actually, he's obviously got good lighting on his green screen. Most people have crap lighting on their green screen, and it's a mess. But he's actually got pretty good lighting, so that looks pretty good. But I'm going to put him back up here just not to make cumbersome. Now, but let's say this frame, I want it to be different color. Because Dr. Daniels is blue. Let's do this different. Again, filters are your friend. So I'd go to Filter. We're going to go ahead and add a color correction. This gives you pretty much anything you can imagine that you could adjust in a picture. But I'm specifically just going to do a hue shift, right? Just hue shift. Oh, wait, no, that's right. So because it is the exact same source and it is just a duplicate, it is actually going to change.
It's going to copy, yeah.
Right. So but if I were to simply, to do this, if I were to just get this and then say copy, paste, move that over, add a filter, and change the hue again, then only that one would change. A little easier way to do that stuff. Now I'm going to remove that. And an issue that I've got here, obviously, is I want to change this. So you're going to constantly find yourself right-clicking and going into properties. For the font, that just means I can change, and I believe your name is pluralized 4 times. Is that
yes,
correct?
that's accurate. Okay. Good job. Thank you for that.
So we got him there.
So much sometimes.
And because I was lazy and I duplicated it, it is actually just a mirror of the same thing. So I would want to go in here, get rid of that, add another, just add a separate text one. We're going to I'm actually just going to choose Tyler. But when I bring it down and I put it here, I'm going to just change it to say Tyler. All right. Props to Tyler.
Yeah, no, Ryan, there is the question here. Let's see, do you know much about using a capture card or streaming?
Sure. All right. So capture card is interesting. Whoever, is somebody asking that question in particular? Or is it just?
I imagine somebody in class. I know that's come up before, but.
Got it. Okay.
If
it was
if
me.
we can do it.
I use a capture card, but I was kind of just asking more generally for everybody else too.
Got it. So it depends on what kind you have. I have an Elgato H60 4K, and it's embedded in a separate computer of mine that is my stream machine. So in my setup, I have my gaming PC here, and then I have a separate computer over here that is prioritized solely for streaming and recording. So it's got like a 10 terabyte hard drive. It's got not even a great GPU. It's like a 1060 NVIDIA. It's got an i5, CPU. It doesn't need much. But this is where my capture card is, and it's a PCI capture card. So it's in my computer. A lot of streamers will use like one where it's a little device that you go through, and go through USB, right? So it kind of depends on your capture card. But what most are going to be picked up as is actually not a game capture. It's going to be picked up as a video capture device. So if I were to click a video capture, it's going to show me the ones I typically use. My HD Pro Webcam C920, that is my camera. You can only use your camera on one device at a time, unless you get this software version of a Stream Deck. So I'm using it for Zoom, so I cannot pull it up and have it as my actual high def camera. But if I wanted to, I would use this. If you have a capture card, you would be using, I would use Elgato Game Capture. Assuming you've gotten your capture card all set up, it'll pop in as a video device. And then this is where it gets infuriating, because the capture card does not always communicate with your computer seamlessly. So you'll probably have to mess around with some stuff down here. If the audio coming from your capture card is 44 hertz and your Streamlabs setting is on 48 hertz, then you're going to get a weird vibrato sound. If if your capture card is running out at 720 res and you are trying to display, like source quality, it is going to be messing with you, right? Like it'll be a problem. So you are going, whenever you get it set up, you're going to want to go to your whatever company that you have, go to their channel and look how they set up theirs and look at common problems. And if you, I'll tell you what, I will, Dr. Daniel, if you want to give him my Twitter handle,
yeah,
that would be fine for specific questions. If as you're setting it up, you want to just give me, a quick holler or something on Twitter, that's fine. And I'll try to help you out a bit. Just don't give it to other people, like, type of thing. This is for just this class. But this, once again, it's going, it's great. Now mine, it's coming from a totally different computer, which means it's capturing everything on my other computer, right? So that is how mine would work. Anyway, I'm not going to actually add that, because my stream machine is off. Yep. All right. Actually, it is on, but right now my stream machine. Oh, you know what? Oh no. Okay. So right now my stream machine is set where it is connected to my PlayStation 4, and then it is an out connection to my primary monitor. If I were to pull it in and turn the PlayStation 4 on, though I'm not going to, because my son unplugged it last time, meaning I have to change something for it to be recognized appropriately. But what it would be pulling in is I could pull in my PlayStation gaming, have my remote, and do all of my stuff here, right? But again, that's my stream machine. That's the one I would want to prioritize all that for. Hey, Jade. All right. Sorry, Jade, I'm not paying attention to chat. I would have said
so we're running out of time right now.
Okay.
And yeah, so I will just mention a couple things. And Dr. Kelly, if you don't mind closing stream.
Sure. Stream should be ended.
Okay. And I am going to stop